Okay, so I just had a fantastic session and I have to just record this one before it leaves me, before the wind takes it away. It's very windy out here. Okay, and I'm going to call this video How to Have a Great Fight. Now, here's why. Because after you have a fight, any kind of fight, if it was abusive or counterproductive or whatever, there is often on some level some form of relief. Now, why is this? There's a relief because you've released tension that needed to be released. And so I think that when people start a fight, they have a fight, they're in the middle of the fight, they're after the fight, there's a lot of feeling bad about fighting. Now, there's a way, let's say fair fightly, to fight with evolution, to fight with a higher connection into your highest self. Now, what's important to know how to have a great fight is that you know the ground rules before going in. You understand that you're an animal. You are. We don't like to talk about that. We definitely aren't programmed to think that. We're programmed to think, well, those are the animals and we're the humans. No, we're animals. We have a neurology, and there can be a mode that you can get into, which is called the fight or flight mode, where your neurology is so triggered that when you're attacked, verbally or physically, that there is no way that you're going to have any sort of rational solution or productive experience. Now, when we know this, right? So I'm not in a fight or flight mode right now. That would be interesting to catch me on video. Right, okay. No, I'm not, right? I'm chilling in my front yard, life's good. But when I get in that mode, there are rules that come down from my guides that are really clear. And they say a couple things. One, they basically, I pull in a different frequency, and it's not myself, it's part of who I am, of course, but it's a different frequency, and it basically, number one, removes me from the person that I'm fighting with. Now, why is this so essential to have a fair fight? Because to have a good productive release of emotion, we don't want to get mean. We don't. And that is something in the process of an evolution that we are in, that you are in, as a love being, you have command over. You have command over deciding when and where you interact with people. And so that when you start to feel that mode come in, you move to a higher state and you say, I'm getting out of here. Now, the neurology takes about 20 to 40 minutes to actually cool down. And so a really great fight can happen after that point, where we all have defenses. Sometimes we blame the other, sometimes we blame ourselves. We get into this place where we're in that animal mode, and the only thing we can do is be an animal. And so it reminds me of my dog Charlie. He was a rescue dog, and wow, it's windy. He is a rescue dog, and he had an issue in the beginning where he would attack my other dog Emily because he felt that she was going to steal his food. And so we had this great dog trainer, and I always remember this because what he would say is, never put Charlie around Emily when they're eating. That's it. It won't happen anymore. It was like, oh, so he has his own cage, he eats separately. And I think about that so much because this relates to this, where it's like, don't put yourself in a situation where you will attack or be attacked. Whoa. It's gold. It's gold. And then from that place, you can take 20 minutes. I work with a couple where he was physically abusive and emotionally abusive. And what really helped shift that was we made this agreement that whenever it would get heated, he had to go for a drive. He had to get out of the house. He had to go get away for 20 to 30 minutes. And then he would come back. They wouldn't necessarily discuss it that night, but the next day they would go back and they would have the fair fight. They would have a grounded discussion where they're expressing their needs, their desires. And so that's what really inspired me in this session that I just did, because I adore these clients that I'm working for, and I know they're going to work it out, and they're really, really incredible people. And it just reminded me of how important it is to talk about this, because you want to talk about it when you're in this highly conscious state, like watching a YouTube video, and you plant the seed now so that when your neurology starts to kick in, and it might just be a fight that you're not having with a partner, it might be with a friend or a parent or an email exchange, and if it starts to get that place where you're like, I gotta respond, I gotta say it right now. Get disciplined with yourself and say, okay, hold on. It's hard. It is hard, but it's why we're here. We're here to evolve. And it's the calling out for greater consciousness, greater awareness, and an opportunity to slow and hit the pause button. Take yourself out of that flight or fight mode, and then move back to the place where you can engage. And you might be in a dynamic, in a situation, a work situation, I don't know, where the person is in a fight or flight mode and you're dealing with them, right? And so you can guide them, because they're not going to want to necessarily take space, but you can say, I love you, or maybe not to your boss, I really respect you, I appreciate you, but I gotta go get an errand and I'll be back. We can talk about this in a little bit, right? And then you just peace out. And it is incredible what can happen when you let the neurology calm back down, and you then you can connect back into the highest self, and you can have a very, very productive, a good fight where you're both articulating what you need, and you get an emotional release, and you get the tension out, which is essential. You got to get that tension out. We just want to do it in a way where you're not hurting other people in any way, shape, or form. And so we can do that by understanding our own neurology and our own animal modes. There's my guy, George. I love you, George. He's like, they got it. He's my New York guide who just comes down and tells me when they've got it. So you've got it. Great. Lots of love to you, and we will connect soon. Bye-bye.